exit the ambulance on a city street. We learned of this incident from the individual family members. I know many of these members, they are active in the community, who shared that he had passed away from this health emergency that he had called to get help to address. This incident is very concerning to me and my colleagues up here, and I called this news conference for this important reason. First and foremost, city residents deserve top-notch emergency services in healthcare. Ambulance services are vital for our community, and we must learn from this situation. People must do better when caring for city residents. My mother, who's no longer here, has been on ambulances. I was on an ambulance last year. Many of us have had family members who have been on ambulances. Secondly, I was flabbergasted to learn that this incident occurred on November 30th. The person involved passed away from the health issue just before Christmas. And I was not pleased that I was learning about this just now. Here we are in the second week of January. As you know, I have said, transparency is the hallmark of my administration and is a priority for City Council. We will not stand for procedural delays that hold up critical information that must be shared broadly. So earlier this afternoon, I shared this information of this incident with members of City Council, and now I believe that it is important to share it with the community, even though we don't have all of the answers yet. So, in the spirit of transparency, right after this press conference ends, we will release the video footage we have of this incident. What you will see in the video, that footage will show an ambulance stopping on a city street. It shows Rochester police officers being called by EMTs to this ambulance, but it shows a person having trouble breathing and being asked to leave the ambulance and wait on the street. It also shows that that person is in clear distress, falling to the sidewalk and waiting for more than 2 minutes for medical personnel to help them. And you will see the ambulance in the background. Here's what we know at this point. We know that police were called to the ambulance to address some type of situation. We also know that the police were there to hold this medical scene. The video we'll share includes audio and visuals that will speak for themselves. And I can tell you that even though this was not a police incident, because we are not getting information from AMR as of yet, although we have issued a letter and we have subpoenaed records, we are asking our professional standard service from the police department to also help with this investigation. But Patrick Beath, my corporation counsel, will be responsible for looking into this matter and reporting what we know to the community. Because even though this was a medical scene, there are always lessons to be learned, particularly as it relates to what type of ambulance services or medical services our community are experiencing. City residents are people, and they deserve to be treated humanely and with the same attention as anyone else. City residents are people, and they deserve to be treated humanely and with the same attention as anyone else. I have asked AMR to conduct its own in-depth investigation into what happened that night. I want to understand why they chose to call the police. I want to understand why personnel required someone in distress to be removed from an ambulance instead of being taken directly to the hospital. We must get to the bottom of this. We must understand how and why this occurred, and we must identify processes and safeguards to ensure that this does not ever happen again. And most importantly, we must make sure that those who are caring for city residents provide them with the same level of care and compassion that they will provide their own loved ones. I commit to you that I will continue being transparent, even though there are things that we don't know yet and things that we have not been given information on. It is important that we provide this information. I also commit to you that we will address any shortcomings in both the people and the process involved in emergency response that left one of our neighbors in medical distress lying on the sidewalk for more than 2 minutes. And I commit to you that we will provide more updates on this situation as we learn more. Our EMT partners at AMR do not report to me, so I don't want to give that impression. They don't report to city council, they don't report to us, but what they do is they contract with us. They contract with city council. City council has to approve this contract. But they do have this contract to serve the city, and it's my job to ensure residents. It's all of our jobs to ensure city residents are treated right. I'm hopeful that AMR is committed to working to determine the reasons this incident occurred and address the clear gaps in care that was provided to this human being and fix whatever led to this unacceptable situation that brought me here to this podium today. I wanted to let you know that I spoke to the family today, and all they want is answers. They're not asking for anything unreasonable. They just know that their brother, that their father, that their cousin called for ambulance services and that they got a call saying that he was dead. But they have not gotten any information yet. They've gotten zero information. They've gotten zero information on what happened here. And we're also joined by Councilmember Martin, if you want to. Okay, you good? Councilmember Martin is also here. We will share this link to the video I mentioned after this press conference because we want to be transparent. I'm going to open it up for questions, but please understand that I can't answer them all because we have not gotten the information that we have asked for from AMR. As I said, we have subpoenaed information from AMR. We've sent them a letter, and we're asking for this information, but we want to make sure that the family that I know, that I just met with, gets answers as it relates to this this situation. So with that, you will have this video within the next 2 minutes as soon as we end this press conference. So I'll take any questions, and again, if I can't answer, I will tell you that I can't answer, but I can tell you what I know so far. Yes. What I can tell you about the victim is this is a male, and I told the family that I obviously cannot release his name or any of that information without the family's permission. AMR has said that there's HIPAA reasons why they cannot, but I can say that this is a male victim.
Without having seen the video, it's tough for us to sort of frame our questions, but is the video show him being let out of the ambulance and he's on the ground?
The video, yes, the video you will see is him being let out of the ambulance, him walking down and sitting on a bench and then falling off the bench. And as he falls off that bench, he's on the ground for 2 minutes with an ambulance and the lights in the background. Nobody attending to him. Until finally someone says, hey, he's down. Also in the video, you will see that from the video, he is not doing anything in the least that is threatening. Now, I can't comment on what they're saying happened on the ambulance, but nothing in the least. He wasn't arrested. He wasn't placed under arrest. He wasn't placed in handcuffs. If a person is being threatened, usually we place them in handcuffs, right? We tell them to calm down. This video does not show this individual doing anything other than sitting on a bench, falling and saying, and as getting off the ambulance, saying he wants to go to the hospital. That's all. You will see from the video, you will see medical personnel outside of the ambulance. The police department was called to a medical scene, so it was not their scene, and they arrived, and there was nothing for them to do because this individual was not under arrest for anything. He didn't do anything other than wanting to go to the hospital. So my hope was that AMR would have alerted us about this situation, being that we have a contract with them, being that this, to me, is a noteworthy incident, and we weren't, and I was not told about this. Well, AMR started to start. Then when they saw he fell, they started to render aid. So they did render aid.
Does the family believe that the delay in services may have eventually led to death?
We don't know. That's the question. That's their question. We won't, and they won't know until there's more information that is released. Obviously, there's information that it hasn't been shared with the city because of HIPAA, right? So AMR said that HIPAA is here, but what captured this and how we were able to get video, and you'll see this from the camera, was we have blue light cameras. That's what gave us. That's the main reason why this is being able to be brought to my attention, because we're able, we control blue light. If this had happened somewhere else, I wouldn't be standing here, because I wouldn't have had any photo visual other than a brief body cam footage where they say, "Why are you calling us?" Right? So it's the blue light camera that really provides all of the information that I'm presenting to you and that I have. Well, I'll take 2 more questions. Yep. Well, it was the family. It's the family. It's the family and our camera footage.
How long do you believe, you obviously probably know the original pickup of he called 911 himself or a family member. How long was he in the rig before they?
Yeah, I don't have any of that information. I'm not sure how long he was in the rig. I don't know if it was a 911 call where he waved them down. I don't know any of that information. The only thing I know is that you see an ambulance driving to the hospital, pull over on the side of a road, and you see a person getting out of an ambulance. So so well, I learned of this Tuesday, as I've said, and my interactions with AMR have been through our attorneys since I've learned of this information on Tuesday. I'm going to say that we're waiting on information. I would say that my hope would be that we would be standing here together, and my hope is that AMR will update the community on what's going to happen to resolve this situation. What's going to happen, just like we do with other incidents that happen in the city. I hope that they will follow that same track in terms of an investigation. You know, when there's a shooting or any of those things, we know that the Attorney General has to be involved. The Police Accountability Board is involved. The Professional Standard Service is involved. So I'm hoping that they have some type of similar process that they will follow. But we will do our own internal investigation, because number one, I have to go to City Council for a contract with AMR. We oversee ambulance services, and as well, it's important to note that they are a vendor, so we have a vested interest in this because our residents use AMR services. So we have to have our own internal, we have to have our own investigation, because we have to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. But more importantly, we still need to get to the bottom of what exactly has happened here, because all I know is what I just said to you today and what the video that you will see when it's released. But we felt as though, and I'll close by saying, we felt as though when we get information, we have to put it out there. And I could not, in good conscience, know that we have blue light camera of this incident and not put it out there in the public. And that's why we wanted to make sure we put it out there today. So thank you, and we will have more updates as they come along. And I'm sure at some point the family may want to say something, but I assured them that we would not get ahead of them until they were ready to talk about the situation and what happened. Okay, thank you.